cool.
Well, let's talk about the fact it's been 5 years in the making.
Yeah.
How's that been, and how does it feel now for it to finally be out? I'd imagine that, in a way, adds extra pressure, but also the day after this podcast comes out, a massive relief that they're finally out there and it's finally in the ears of the public. Yeah,
for sure. This one was like a really big undertaking, and I do this to myself. Like I'm a fan of music first and for a long time, and I always had this knowledge that at a certain point, like, bands fall off, bands get like lazy, and so I'm always like policing myself for that shit. And the way I do it is to continually take on really ambitious things that I don't know how to do. And like, if I kind of chase that feeling of like not knowing what the fuck I'm doing, and sometimes that gets me in situations where it takes me 5 years to put a fucking album together.
That's stressful. But I mean, in the lyrics and in interviews and in our discussions, you've touched upon at times the necessity at points to go away for a bit. I think in rap, particularly the way mixtape culture is building up, people seem scared to go a month without releasing something, but at times I think it's right that you and Sage have both said that sometimes you need to go away to come back, as you say.
Yeah, for sure. And as we've been busy in the going away time, we've been releasing stuff to keep people, like, interested, or things that don't end up, because I'm just kind of continually making songs. So and some of those songs end up on an official album, and some of them end up on a mixtape for whatever reason, for sample clearance reasons, whatever. So there's always kind of like a continual output of stuff. But yeah, it is, especially when it comes to an official album, I think it's important to show people something new when you are going to make this big a deal out of it. When you're gonna hire a publicist and make videos and do a world tour, like, that should be an important statement.
Yeah, completely. And to strengthen that, this is kind of the first time you've worked with full live instrumentation and really just being in the studio and building everything from scratch rather than messing with samples and whatnot.
Yeah, really, literally from scratch. I mean, there's some samples on the record, but even those samples we processed them in new ways. We, ran break beats through preamps and mixers and stuff to get a new sound for them, and EQ'd them in new ways and mixed them in new ways. And we actually, part of the reason it took so long is we physically built a studio in the middle of making this album. Like,
amazing.
We moved out of one spot into the next, and sound engineers coming in and separating walls from joists and shit and pouring cement and stuff. That was DS3K, the album's engineer. But we literally built a lot of shit for this one.
I mean, that's insane, and it really highlights, because again, when you say you're 5 years in the making, some people will think, oh, you've had kind of a chilled 5 years, but it's great to get across that kind of thing of, as well as all the touring, all the promoting, all the other writing and recording, there's physically been the building of studios. And
this is 5 years of work.
Literal blood, sweat and tears going into this.
Yeah, it's not 6 months of work and like 4 years of off time. This is like 5 years of work.
Yeah. So
this piece of fiction is the intro to distraction pieces. This piece of fiction is the intro to distraction. This piece of fiction is the intro to distraction.